sidelines in games like that. What does it feel like to be the coach that was in your position in a game like this where it was coming so easy?
Well, we start off and it's back-to-back threes by Notre Dame. So it wasn't one where I'm like, hey, this is a piece of cake. We had some breakdowns right off the bat. We gave Mabry a three, and then Westbeld hits a three. But offensively, we have been working on our tempo. We've been working on our passing. I thought offensively we were as good as we've been all year. Not for the fact that we scored 100, but we passed the ball well. We got the ball to people when they were open at the right time. We've had a problem, throughout some games of we'll hold it for an extra second, and then all of a sudden when you pass it, now it's a contested shot. Where tonight we were getting the ball out of our hands. We were getting it to your teammate when they were open for us to shoot. And, I've watched Asia do it in practice. I've watched Maisha do it in practice. Maisha does it. That 15-foot reverse pivot at the elbow is like a layup for some people. That's how consistent she shoots it. That's how good she feels about it. And then a shooter like Asia, we're fortunate. We got her some looks early and she knocked them down. And then all of a sudden that basket becomes real big. That fadeaway three there at the end of the third was off a set play. We ran it. I thought they defended it pretty well. But, when you're, I guess she was a 7 and 9 before she took that one, and you hit, that basket doesn't seem that hard to make when you've got that flow going. And that's one thing that I'll say for Asia. She's really been focused in and dialed in and has really been playing well.
Jeff, in your time here, you've had some big games and big crowds. Most of those times, though, you haven't won the game. Is this the stars kind of aligning? Is this the first time you feel like everything kind of came together and you won a big game with the atmosphere and everything?
Well, I just told Kara and Rebecca, we've really done a great job of getting some great crowds in here, and about 8 of them have been against UConn. When they have won about 127 in a row. And it's like, golly. I mean, we came out and competed, but unfortunately we weren't able to get one of those wins. And that's why I was so excited about this ball game. I was so excited that, we've been out there working really hard on promoting it and trying to get ticket sales. And I just want to thank everyone, all 12,000 that came out tonight. And I'm hoping, I went to dinner last night and met a couple, and the wife was like, I'm trying to talk my husband into coming to the game. I'm like, I've got 2 tickets. If you come, they're on me. And I'm hoping they came tonight. Because if you don't want to come back after that, I don't know what to tell you. So I'm hoping we had a lot of first-time people possibly that came, and that's a pretty darn good basketball. It's entertaining, and the kids play so hard. It's not that we have to score 100, but they play hard. They're diving on the floor after loose balls. They're picking each other up. The excitement is there, and our loyal ones that have been out here, it's our fans they're very smart basketball fans. They're very knowledgeable. They know when to cheer, and they're just not cheering all the time. Like if we're struggling on offense or if we need to stop, they'll start to get loud, and that's what was so impressive about it. Is we have a basketball scene. There's no question about it, and we have knowledgeable basketball fans, which makes our game so exciting.
Jeff, you're 19-0. You beat the number 2 team by 33. Should you be the number 1 team in the country?
No, I'll leave that to UConn. That's one of those you don't want to poke a,
especially when they're on schedule.
Yeah, especially when they're on schedule. Thanks, Ken. Appreciate that. No, I mean, you know what? I've watched them on film. They're fantastic. I'm really proud of how we're playing right now. But I'll say it all along. It's these young women and our locker room. It's just it really is amazing. I mean, there are players that want to play more. I want to play more. But when I'm looking at the bench, I mean, Notre Dame calls a timeout, and I've got players that haven't played. They're the first ones off the bench to go out there. They're getting excited. There's no, man, I should be playing. And I talk to them like I'm honest with all of them. That's the one thing I sleep well at night. And I'll tell like Bianca and Kylie, so did you all want? I'll ask them like jokingly. So did you want me to take Maisha out of the game? She's 15 and 20. She looked great. Asia, like, guys, did you want me to take her out for 5-6 minutes so you can go out there? And they'll all laugh, be like, no. But when they do struggle, we have depth that can help us. We've got to continue to develop it. I thought Kylie played aggressive tonight. She had 4 block shots, and that's all I've been telling her. She's got all the fundamental skills. She just got to play hard. She's got to dive after a loose ball. She's got to go get a rebound. And when she starts to do that, then I think she'll start to see more success. But we're going to continue to work with our bench. I thought Dana tonight did a really good job in her 16 minutes of harassing the ball. She was on Mabry a lot when she was at the point and just made it difficult. They had to start their offense way further out than they wanted to because of the ball pressure that we were putting on. So it's a great team win. They're a great group of young women, and I enjoy coaching them. It's fun to come to work. They don't always like me, but that's okay.
Going back to your one game at a time mentality, how much talk is there with this team about the ranking and the record?
I'll be honest with you. We talked about it, I think, when we were 17-0 or something, and if we wanted, it was the most wins, consecutive wins in school history, but that's the only time we've ever talked about it. We don't even bring it up. We honestly don't worry about it. We know our goal is to compete to hopefully have a chance to win an ACC regular season championship. Then after that, our goal is to hopefully compete to win the ACC tournament championship. And then hopefully to get to a Final Four and compete for a national championship. But I'm not going to worry about that now. We've got a week to get some rest, and we're playing at Pitt. And if you go back and look at our games at Pitt, every single one of them has been a challenge. So we're not going to overlook anyone, and if we do, that'd be a shame on me.
The last few games, this team has gone out to strong starts, only to kind of falter a little bit in the second half and let the opponents come back in. What was the difference in this team being able to just stay on the gas for 40 minutes?
Well, we had talked about it. That's something that we had stressed, and we had had dialogue of, if you want to get respect, if you want to get national respect, you've got to figure out a way to put a 40-minute game together. You got to play 4 quarters. It can't just be I get up 20 after 1 and then we play even throughout. It's not going to be 167. If we play Notre Dame in the conference tournament, I promise you, it's not going to be 167. I've always had. I love my emails I get. I love our fan base. They're fantastic. We're up 26-1 at NC State, and I think some of them think it should have been 52-2. I'm like, well, they are going to score. So everybody in our league's good. So you're just not going to, if you're up 20 maybe after the first quarter because you're shooting it well, you're not going to be up 40 at half. It's just not how it works. Tonight, we put 3 quarters of really good basketball together. I honestly thought we played 35 really good minutes. And then the last 5, I've got some players out there that I'm throwing out there, and they're in situations they're normally not in. So it is tough. You're trying to figure out, okay, I'm used to being out there when Maisha's on the floor, and now I'm the go-to player. So they're in situations they're not necessarily used to, but I think it's good for them, and they'll continue to develop from that.
Jeff, yesterday you joked about being up there winning by 30. Even in your dream when you won the Powerball, did you think you could win by 30?
No, if I won the Powerball, somebody else would be sitting here. I can guarantee you that. All right, now if I won the Powerball, you never see me again, especially you. No, I never. I mean, I went on the radio and TV all week long, and I never dreamed that either team would be in a situation where, our largest lead was 44 with 7.5 to go in the game. Never dreamed that. Never. It was never in my, as I play the game through my mind before, the night before and the day of, playing out scenarios of if this happens, what am I going to do? What are we going to run? There was never a time that I was like, hey, when we're up 44 with 7.5 to go, this is what we'll do. It was more, hey, when it's down to the last 4 minutes, because I told the kids it's going to be, I expected it to be, and I know if we play them again, it's going to be a heavyweight fight. It's, body blow, as Coach Norman sat there and told our kids, there's not going to be a haymaker that knocks them out. You got to just keep grinding and keep fighting and keep fighting. And eventually, hopefully, you can knock them out. But, after that, those first 2 quarters, I think we made a pretty good statement. And defensively is where we won the game. It's a team that averages 85 points a game. We held them to 28 in the first half.
If Jasmine plays that way, when she gives you that rebounding, assist, scoring defense, what dimension does it add?
That's exactly what Jazz can do, because I'm challenging her to continue to get in the gym, to continue to work on her pull-up jump shot and be a scoring threat. Because when she can do that for us, that's the dynamic that we don't have. Her athleticism, her ability to get above people on a pull-up jump shot. She does that. Now all of a sudden, you're looking at 4 or 5 scores on the floor. Erica Carter, I thought, played a fantastic game. It didn't force anything, took good shots, was very patient, got the ball to the people at the right time. And then when her shots came, she knocks down a 3 in the first half, which was a big one. And then that 3 there in the second half, when it got kicked back out to her, it's just a rhythm 3 that she makes. I tell AC all the time what my goal is for her. She needs to contribute between 10 and 18 points a night. And that doesn't mean by all scoring. Like tonight she had 6, but she also had 6 assists. So I tell her, well, there's 12 points in assists plus the 6 you scored. There's your 18. And that's how we like to go through things and try to get them to understand. It's not just the number of points you score, it's how many you help account for.
Jeff, it may not have been the intent, but do you think this performance tonight from your team sends a message to the rest of the country?
Well, I don't know if it sends a message to the rest of the country. I mean, I think people, when they look at the score, are going to be like, wow, what just happened? It shows you what we can do. I think that's what it does. It shows you what our potential is. Now, we're not going to shoot 65% from the field every night. We shot better from the field than we shot from the free throw line. And that's not going to happen every night. But the one thing I will say for these kids, and I tell them all the time, if you want to be a great team, if you want to compete to win a championship, you've got to be able to make open shots. All of you have to. And I thought we did that tonight. There weren't a lot of contested. There were a few that Durr shot there, shot clock running down, come off a ball screen that may have been contested. But a majority of them were open. Like, we passed the ball so well that people were getting open shots. And you've got to be able to make them, and we did that tonight.
You mentioned also this tape's going in the trash can. How much of this will you watch?
Well, we'll watch because there are some things that we've got to get better on. Our defensive transition, we gave up, I think, 6 points in transition. We had a few lapses on defense where we were supposed to be in one type of defense, and 3 of them were, one of them wasn't. So there's things that we're going to show that we need to improve on. And offensively, I'll use part of it to just show how well we pass the ball. When you're unselfish, all we've been talking about is tempo for the past, month. And it's as simple as it's a dead ball, we're taking it out. And instead of catching, turn around and walk, we throw it up the floor, I think, to AC. AC takes 2 dribbles, throws it to Asia in the corner for a 3 off a dead ball because our tempo was so good. As a defense, you're kind of waiting to get back. I tell our kids the tempo starts with getting ready to take the ball out of bounds. Sprint to get there. Then the official hands it to you, you go. So I'm really proud of them because we have worked on it and they executed.
Is this the most dominant team performance that you've had in your time?
Yeah, I'd say that for sure. There's no question about that. Again, I thought Sam Fearing played fantastic. Jazz played really well. It was a team effort. There's no doubt. It wasn't just, even though Asia had 36, it's not like it was just throw the ball to Asia and watch her work. She was scoring within the offense. Her teammates were getting her the basketball. It was pretty impressive.
You mentioned winning an ACC championship. You know what's going to go through them. What's the statement you make there? They've lost like 2 games ever in the league.
Notre Dame.
Yeah.
What's
the statement you make beating them?
Well, now we have a chance. We finished a 15-1 2 years ago, and the problem is, I think in my 11 years here, I think we've been 14-2, 15-1. Another time we're 15-1, but we've been in the league with UConn. It's like you look at our league record, and 90% of the leagues you're having a chance to win. Well, with UConn and Notre Dame, how dominant they've been within the leagues, it's a battle. I tell people all the time, everybody talks about, winning conference championships. I'm like, I've never won one. I've been coaching for 22 years. And I've got one Coast Sun Belt Conference Championship when I worked with Paul Sanford in Western Kentucky. That's the only one we've ever had. You know, but we've had the opportunity in my years to play in three Final Fours because we do play in a great league. And that's where, you know, I think our teams continue to battle with each other. We make each other better, and then when postseason comes around, this league is normally making noise in it.
How much are you having to tell this team to savor the moment that this truly is kind of maybe one in a career seasons?
Now, I don't even talk about it. I mean, I tell them to enjoy it. Like today, I'm like, hey, enjoy this. You know, enjoy the win, and then is this what you want, or do you want more? Because if you want more, then get back in the gym and continue to work on what you've been working on to get where we are now. For us as coaches, you know, the bye week's nice for the players. I've got a 6 o'clock flight tomorrow to head up to Boston to go watch a high school game on Saturday, and then got a flight to DC on Saturday night to watch one on Sunday. I mean, it's what we do. So it's good for the kids, but it's recruiting for the coaches.
Considering that this was a nationally broadcast game and everything else, what does a win like this do for the program?
Well, I mean, it's a nationally televised game, which is great because we do recruit nationally. I mean, you look at our roster; we have players from all over the country. You know, it's not like it's the first big game that we've won here.
Right.
You know, so it's just another like, hey, look what they've done, and we're doing it with one senior. You know, Maisha is extremely talented. There's no question about it. But we have a good group that's coming back. You know, and we've recruited well. That's one thing that you know, even Tom said back when he hired me. He's like, I just don't want a good year. I don't want a good year every 3 or 4 years. I want to establish a women's basketball program here. And that was something that excited me. And that's what I think we have done here is we have a program. It's just not one team. It's not one year. And that's what we take pride in as coaches, and we're going to continue to work on.
Jeff, when you look at this win, I mean, how does this compare for you as a coach to maybe the Baylor win in terms of the importance or maybe what the players were able to accomplish?
It's not close. And I don't mean that with any disrespect, but that Baylor win was to get us to the Elite Eight. You know, this win gets us to our 6th conference game of the year. You know, like I can't compare games right now to that Baylor game or Tennessee game. You know, because everybody seems to forget that. You know, when I talk to people that we had to beat Tennessee to get to the Final Four. You know, our Maryland game in 09 to go to the Final Four. You know, Oklahoma, Cal to get to the finals. Those are games that, you know, I don't even compare regular season games to those because those are when you lose, you're done. And it's amazing. I still say, you know, it gives me goosebumps when I sit there and think about those ball games, what some of those players did and what they gave to this program. But now, is this a very important, great win? There's no doubt because you've got to figure out a way to beat Notre Dame if you want a chance to compete to win our league. And I'm not afraid to say that. I mean, it's just reality. And we did that tonight. So I'm really proud of these young women.
2 more.
I got nowhere to go. What's your rush? Hot day? God damn.
Stay on.
No, thank you guys. I appreciate everything. And again, just please, if you do anything, just thank our crowd. Write an article, please just thank our crowd for me because it was absolutely outstanding. Look forward to hopefully seeing y'all here next Sunday. All right.
Thanks,
Take care.
Coach.